All right, friends, we have one step in equations, multiplying and dividing. And so looking at my objectives here at the top, and you can highlight these because I can't find my highlighter, but you can highlight that you can solve one-step equations using the multiplication property of equality, and then solving one-step equations using the division property of equality, and then solving real-world problems, okay? So we have these multiplication property of equality states the multiplication property of equality states that the two sides of an equation remain equal when you multiply each side by the same number. And the same goes for division. The two sides of an equation remain equal when you divide each side by the same number. So we're going to look at my I do and have my equation. I have 4x equals 12. Now we have talked about this and apply this over and over. In this equation, you have two terms. I have a constant 12, and right here I have a coefficient 4 in front of my variable x. And whenever you have a coefficient attached to a variable with no operation, that means multiply. So I need to perform the inverse operation of multiplication to solve for x to isolate my variable. So I'm going to divide, because that's the inverse, I'm going to divide by both sides by 4, okay, to apply my division property of equality here. And 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I could just kind of cross those out a bit. And I'm going to put x equals 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, let's look at our we do. So over here I have 11x equals 121, and you can use a calculator too, but we know this one. So again, coefficient with variable means multiply, so my inverse is divide by 11, so x equals 11 in this case, because 11 times 11 is 121. Then now you have 4 you-dos that you need to do on your own, these 4 right here, if you're working independently or at home, and show me those when you are finished. And going on to our second page. Our second page just has examples using decimals. So my we do is 8/10 x, so 8/10 times x equals 3.2. Dividing by 0.08 on both sides. So division is my inverse, is what I meant to say. And then I'm going to divide, because you can use your calculator on your equations. And I get 4. So x equals 4. Whoops. Getting ahead of myself. So let's just make sure we know that these are all decimals here. Decimal, 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 decimal. There we go. Okay, solve on your own. Show me. So now we have division equations, okay? And when we divide, well, the inverse of division is multiplication. So you would, I'm just going to show you this example. I'm going to write it bigger. Okay, so you would, so this is division. My inverse operation is multiplication. So you would multiply by the reciprocal, and this would just be 4 over 1, okay? Where this would cancel, and then I would multiply by 4 over 1, which is the same thing as 48 over 1, which equals 48. Over here, so x equals 48. Now, I did all that, but I'm going to show you a shortcut. All you got to do is multiply the denominator over here and your whole number, so you get x equals 24. Okay, again, long way to explain, but all you got to do is multiply. So show me those. And then my last page here is more application of decimals. That's it. So I'm going to make this a decimal, this a decimal. So if I were to multiply these together, 2.5 times 4.6, and I get 11, x equals 11 and 5/10. And then my u-dos, decimal here, decimal here. Let's make sure these are all decimals. Okay. Let's look at some word problems. Barry earned 7 times as much as Colin shoveling snow. If Barry earned $364, how much did Colin earn? So Barry earned 7 times much as Colin. We don't know what Colin earned. So here's what I did. So 7 times, that means multiply, right? 7 times a number. He earned 7 times as much as Colin. Well, we don't know what Colin is, so I gave our variable C. So 7 times whatever Colin made gives me 364. And we know that this is multiplication. So if we're going to perform the inverse operation, 364 divided by 7, we get 52. So C equals 52. So Colin, ooh, he only got $52. It's not really good. All right, Hannah cut a piece of fabric in half. So hear that right there. She's cutting something in half. And what operation do we know when we're saying we're cutting in half? Yeah, we're dividing. So if each cut piece is 2.5 inches long, how long is the original piece of fabric? Okay, so my fabric cut in half. So my fabric divided by 2 is 2.5. But how long was my original piece of fabric? And if you're struggling on this, think of it like this. This is my fabric, and I cut it in half, and each piece was now 2.5 inches long. So 2 times 2.5 is going to give you 5 inches. So my original is 5 inches. Now you have 2 you-dos that I need you to do, and show me when you're finished. You have to write an equation and solve it.